extra.
You want me to do the intro? Hi guys, it's Shana J here and
Eric.
And this is the Shanic Way podcast on Team Shanic
Extra.
Yes, and so we are on episode 28.
Home stretch, you guys. Home stretch.
I had to get the number because you guys were graced with him one more time on a solo podcast yesterday. So
I forgot to say my calves, you guys. My little tiny calves.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You do talk about your calves.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but
little tiny calves. Not proportionate to the, to
the rest of you.
My thighs, these,
and your chest,
that get me running those speeds.
All of that. Yummy. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that is trending, that's on,
Is it trending? I think we're at the tail end.
We might be at the tail end.
Because we're older. That's the way these things happen.
Well, it was put on your favorite little entertainment news lady yesterday. I mean,
she act like she don't watch Impressive, okay? That's a guilty pleasure. She watch it, I watch it.
Not more than rocks.
Of course not.
Okay, I'm a rock star. No.
I'm a rock star.
I'm a rock star. I'm an OG rock star. Okay. Keep it real now. We supposed to keep it real. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to talk about dating, first dates, right? Dates. And where not to take your lady friend, potential.
I mean, as a starting point, but really the answer to that is it doesn't matter.
It does
not matter. Okay, I saw the list.
Yes.
And just to hop straight into it, the caveat with the list is, where are you in your life?
Fact.
In terms of age, in terms of means. Because one person's Ruth's Chris is another person's Cheesecake Factory.
There it is.
One person chops. It's been a while since we've been there.
Yeah.
Is another person's Ruth's Chris.
Yeah.
It's like, and it goes up a scale.
It goes up.
Yes.
So
that list, I understand the knee-jerk reaction for women to be like, put effort into it, because there's been this trend in dating with the younger people that there has been little effort on the first date.
Yeah.
That it's been all
But we know why.
Coffee and, quick link-ups. Nothing, I would say, extravagant. Nothing where you're really putting yourself out there.
Right.
So I think this is a backlash in a lot of respects to women just wanting to be classically courted and wined and dined. Now, last thing, there is an aspect of, women having this like spend money on me attitude towards it, where they want to be taken care of, or money, an excessive amount of money to be spent on them beyond just getting to know someone and the guy putting in the effort. So let me stop, and then what are your thoughts?
I can wait.
No, that was my last point.
Oh yeah, I think it's a whole lot going on. Okay, because one, I think the foundation here is social media, and because there's so much access to women and men, okay, we'll keep it balanced, the amount of dating and the effort to courting, having your eye on one or maybe two women is no more, right? Because people have so many options. Back in the day, you were as good as your reach, and your reach was, or your options were as good as your reach, and it was your neighborhood, your job, the city you lived in. Let's just say that. And so when you saw a female, right, or two, that's the women, those were all you pursued. So I think that when men are dating through online sites, Instagram, wherever, Snapchat, wherever, you got to think about how far can your money go? How far does your coin go? If you're going to date 5 women or whatever the case, right? How many women can you take to chops in a week or a month before you're like broke, right? And how many women do you want to take to chops, right? Now, on the flip side, you have the aspect of women are getting their coins now more. And so they've elevated their lives. I mean, I think it's so many things happening, right? So when they're going on their solo dates and going to dinner themselves and treating themselves to expensive places, they expect the man to come in at their level, right? And take them and wine them and dine them. You have women that want to be single, that want to be, and that's fine. I'm not saying anything against that. Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's so many things happening, I think. And so, you know, I guess this coffee date thing now makes sense to people because you want to get past preliminaries and just see, are we going to have good conversation? In real life. Do we vibe exactly offline before the dude spends the money on you? I don't think that men are like courting like that, like you did. You know what I'm saying? And they may be, so let me not exclude that there may be. And there may be men out there who want to court 1 or 2 particular women, but the woman may not be ready for that, so she's just having fun, you know, because we don't turn down meals. Gotcha. You know, but I think we just kind of, and I'm sure it's more to that, right? Because you got the flip side now where men want to be kept too, because I just watched the vlog the other day, and they were just saying, like, the men are out here seeing women spending money and taking themselves out or what have you. You know what I mean? And so when they are meeting women or knowing that women are out here taking care of themselves, it's kind of like, you know, well, what do you need me for? You know? And again, I'm not saying that men shouldn't take care of women or whatever, but you gotta pick. You can't
have it both ways.
I don't think you can have it both ways. I think that, you know, and I'm not saying that to say a woman should just not work and pursue her career and do all the things, but there has to be some type of balance. I think there has to be some type of balance.
You know, we're old fashioned, so it's no point in us talking about the way.
I mean, how did we do it?
Wish things were.
How do you think we did it? How do you remember we did it?
I mean, I put my best foot forward. We went to 2 Urban Licks.
Yes, that was our first date.
It was a decent restaurant, a very good restaurant.
I had never been.
Had like a live band, you know.
I mean, you did all the things great now.
Menu, you know what I mean? Like, but to that same token, for me, it was a safe first date.
Oh, okay.
Right? And, you know, I'm not saying this to be like a shocker, but I've taken women to that restaurant before.
Okay.
Because I know it's good quality food for the most part. It's out in the open, so of course you'll feel safe.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't too loud. It was loud when we were over by the live band, but it wasn't so loud where we couldn't talk.
Right.
So, you know, that's the effort for the first date. Like, let's go there.
Yeah.
Versus us going to another restaurant that I've never been to that might have been more extravagant, but I've never been there. Like, I'm rolling the dice on a meal that I don't know
if it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
And then on the flip side, going back to what we were saying about good old Cheesecake Factory, we could find something at the Cheesecake Factory, but then I run the risk of you saying, like, all I'm worth is the Cheesecake Factory.
I've never said that in my life.
I know you. No, I would have no way of knowing that on the first date.
That's true.
I would not know that on the first date.
And what I said to him earlier when we discussed this after watching it on Impressive, because Russell Simmons,
Russell Wilson.
Oh, yes.
Please.
Yes.
He got all kinds of
gosh.
heat on him.
Russell Wilson.
That just lets you know how much she does not follow football, you guys.
Yeah.
Just give her grace on that one.
My bad. Surprised Sierra and rented out Waffle House. And so then the list came back into effect because I think it was posted on the Shade Room or the Neighborhood Talk or something like that. And so people were in the comments saying, you know, if it's good enough for Sierra, it's not good enough. First of all, they're married. This was not a first date.
Right.
Okay. Second of all, he rented it out. Now, if you rented out the Waffle House on the first date, okay, I'm good.
I mean, you can rent out a McDonald's and make it romantic.
Exactly. So there's that. But here's what I said to hubby earlier. Each guy brings something different to the table. And I will not say that had a guy who expressed interest in me back in the day took me to the Waffle House, that I would have felt some type of way if certain things were done that led up to that. Okay. And just to give you a quick rundown, I meet this guy in the right way. He approached me in the right way. We were having conversations. It was good conversation. I knew that he had a good job. I know that he has a vehicle. I'm listening to the conversation at little key things like maybe we were talking on the phone and it was 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. His homeboys came over to his house. His mom came over to his house. His sister came over to his house. And we're still on the phone. And he's like, hey, I'm on the phone with Shayna. Da-da-da-da-da. We good. Now I'm on the speakerphone. There's some kind of, you know what I'm saying, comfort level. He's not trying to hide something. I don't feel like he's like, all right, let me call you back. Or, you know what I'm saying? He keeps his word when he says he's going to call back. He's not too clingy, but he does just enough. And, you know, maybe one day he surprises and sends me some flowers or what have you. And let's say this happens for a series of weeks, right? We're talking about back in my time. Okay. So there was time where people just talked on the phone for a little while first, at least me. And so he never gave me my antennas never went up. Now, from my end, we're during those conversations.
This is a hypothetical.
Yeah, this is hypothetical. I'm just trying to say when taking me to the Waffle House would have been okay. So I get off from work. I'm going to call you when I get home. I get home. What you doing? I stop by the Waffle House because I love Waffle House, right? So he takes that note, right? Another night, maybe the next week, I got Waffle House again on the phone, right? I love it. I've said that I love it. So now he's ready to take me on a date. He asked me first, can I take you on a date Friday night? He asked me on Monday, because don't ask me the day before and think I'm just going to say yes because you don't know if I had plans. It's an order to this, y'all. So I'm taking these notes, right? And so he's like, dress nice, just, not too casual, but we're going on a date. He comes, he picks me up. Because back in the day, that's what happens, right? Or happened. He's dressed nice. He's not dressed like I would be dressed to go run in the Waffle House and pick up a meal. Mm-hmm. So we get in the car. He comes and rides with maybe some flowers or something like that. And now we go to the Waffle House and he says to me, well, we've talked on the phone, 15, 20 times over the past 3-ish weeks. And every time I talk to you, you got Waffle House. And you say you like Waffle House. So I figured I'd bring you to Waffle House. To me, that is sweet. That is okay. Now, there's a caveat to that. And that, okay, this is sweet. We're going to enjoy our time. Where's the next date? Now, don't come pick me up and tell me we going to Wings 101 because you heard that I like hot wings on the second date. It was cute at first. It was thoughtful. You paid attention. Mm-hmm. But where are we going the next time? So it's just kind of, it's certain things. It's a progression.
And you get the grace of the first date.
Exactly.
Because the first date, people are trying to get to know each other.
Yes.
You want to take the awkwardness and the pressure off. And what did you say when we were talking about this before? Like you sent your representative.
Oh yes.
So your representative in that scenario was someone who's attentive,
yes,
and has a sense of humor.
listens. Yes,
But as time goes by, maybe the representative is less attentive and less humorous. You know what I mean? It happens.
It does happen.
I'm not saying that should
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it does happen.
Yeah.
So, that's the perk or the positive quality personality trait that you were talking about.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And it just depends, because the next guy could come in and try to do the same thing, and it's just all off. He just did it all wrong. So I think it's a case by case, man by man situation, because I feel like you could meet a guy who does all the right things, take you to an expensive restaurant, and be a jerk.
Yeah. The list holistically, we don't have it in front of us, but I do remember like
Red Lobster,
movie, like Hulu, Netflix, etc.
At your house
was on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that, because you're basically like setting yourself up to do something other than just, that's the reason why it was called Netflix and Chill. So, as far as putting effort and making your intentions known, if that's what you're planning for the first date, you're basically planning to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't do it if that's what you're trying to do, but if you're really trying to woo the girl, don't be surprised if she takes it as you just want to, have fun.
Yeah, I definitely don't think going to the house is good.
Now, playing the angel's advocate, if you really are a movie lover, a cinephile who just loves film and all that kind of stuff, go to a midnight showing of a old movie, of a classic film, or
like a drive-in, a movie
like
in
a
the park,
or even a small theater that's showing like a one night only of Apocalypse Now, or some obscure movie that the average person doesn't know, but you think this person will like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give them that opportunity to engage in it. But yeah, a night of Hulu and Netflix, even if you are well intentioned with it and you're not trying to make it
it won't look that way.
It won't look that way. Yeah. So I do agree with that. But everything else on there, as far as restaurants, like even IHOP, I feel like it's a matter of where you are in life. You know what I mean? Like if I'm 18, right, I'm just in college, where am I really taking someone else who's in college out for a date? Like we might meet at a lounge. Even lounge was on there. Lounge and club was on there. Like, don't take me to a lounge or a club. Like, a lounge makes more sense than a club, because I want to be able to talk to you.
A jazz spot would be nice. A comedy show would be nice, because that's what you took me on, one of them. A comedy show. That ice bar was nice. I don't know. Times are different. I was like, the guys out here got it hard.
Yeah.
The guys out here have it hard, but I don't know. And I'm not saying that don't keep the bar high for yourself, ladies, and expect to be treated like the queen that you are, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's
a fine line between a high standard for yourself and being superficial.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree. And I think that a guy, because you know how I am, a guy's going to treat you how you present, I feel. And I don't mean that to say that, you being flashy or wearing all, Gucci and Chanel and all that is going to make a guy think that you can, what is he here for? But I'm saying, like, I think it's an energy thing where a guy, there's something about a woman that a guy I think will pick up on to know that I got to come correct with her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If she's a catch, if she requires the attention that is being asked of her.
Yeah. I think a guy will come correct. Yeah.
Physical, like something long lasting.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because it's women that kind of put it out there that, like, okay, this isn't a game. You would definitely like that.
What did I say? I didn't say anything.
It's not about saying. It's what you just said. It's about.
Oh, okay.
It's just intuitive.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The way a woman presents themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Because I've observed that about myself, and I've been told that about myself. Like, I don't tell guys how to treat me. I am an observer, and you will see how you're doing by how I respond. And my response is either going to be I will continue to answer the phone, or I've disappeared.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to treat me. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't like something or what have you. I'm just going to watch, because my dad always told me, if a man wants to be with you, you won't have to ask, you won't wonder or anything. And you never did that. Like, I never questioned anything, because you gave me answers, or you were transparent, honest, upfront, all of that. And so it was a match made in heaven.
Match made in heaven.
But I've always been like that. So I think now women are just doing too much teaching, too much talking, and I don't know.
So what about the I wouldn't say argument, but the concern about guys, kind of going to your earlier point, that if they spend X amount of money on one date and it doesn't work out, and then they got to go on another date, 2 dates, and they're like in the hole for the whole month just trying to date. You know what I mean? So what do you say?
That goes with dating a bunch of women. Or you mean with the same woman?
Well, the same woman, or just, setting up multiple first dates, because you don't know who you're gonna.
But why are you setting up multiple dates?
I mean, that's just how you kind of play the field. It's like,
I don't know how to navigate now. I don't have an answer.
Let's say you're not setting up multiple first dates. Let's say you set up a first date, you drop some money on that one with planning, thoughtfulness, and then she wants to go on a second date, but because you put X amount of energy in the first date, you really can't go on a second date of the same caliber until like 3 weeks later. Like the second date might have to be walking the dog in the park, or walk through the park or something.
I mean, then why don't you make that the date?
I mean, that's fine for us, but is that what these kids want to do? That's the question. That is the question.
If
is
you
that
can't,
good enough?
If you can't do that with the one you're trying to get with, she's not the one for you.
I mean, in this scenario, she said she wants to go on a second date, but it's going to the park and
what do you mean she wants to go? She has said to you, when are you taking me on the second date?
I mean, this is a hypothetical.
I know.
The first date went well. People know when the first date goes well.
I get that. But I'm saying,
you're still texting, you're still talking in between.
Right.
And then 3 days go by, and you want to take her on something else to kind of stay in each other's orbit, because you don't want too much time to pass. But because you spent so much money on the first date, what do you do? That's the question I'm asking.
I think that comes with getting to know her. You cannot tell me you're talking to a woman who does not have interests outside of spending money.
Yeah. And you take her to an empty roller skating rink like my boy Rocky Balboa did with Adrian.
If he can get in the empty.
He did.
Oh, he did.
It was so romantic. I mean, this is Rocky. Everybody. Yeah.
Don't say it's true.
No, I'm just saying, like,
because I'm about to say we do think Rocky's real, but it sounded like you was about to
Rocky
say this.
Marciano's real, but
I
mean
the movie. No, I get it.
Okay.
I feel like you should, because I'm thinking back to when I was in my 20s. What was I doing that didn't cost money? I don't know really, because
I think sorry to cut you off, but I just, you saying that, we did a version of this, because Two Urban Licks was a nicely priced restaurant. Let's just say that. The second date was Apache. So all we needed to do was bring our
when you took me to see
pad.
that woman. But you found that. You found that.
Right. So it was a good second date that wasn't pricey.
There are things in Atlanta, or I will say in other states, that are free.
Yeah.
Or
so
low
our second
price.
date, we mentioned it in the very first podcast. I took it to Apache, and it was art night. And so they have live sketching, and I draw a little bit. So I brought a pad for her and a pad for me, but I didn't know that night was nude sketch model night. So our second day, I took her to see a naked woman, basically. And actually, that picture in my office, that sketch that's on the wall, is her when she had her clothes on before she.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like,
but she rolled with the punches.
I did.
Man.
I did. Awesome. It did.
I mean,
we kind of had a seat behind her, so we just only saw.
We got like shoulders, and we didn't see like the full, And they had some good jerk chicken.
They did, and they were playing music. Oh, it was a vibe. And I've been to Apache before, so it was a vibe. But however you decided that was, I mean, it's the man. You could put in effort. Effort. All dates don't require you to spend over $100 on a meal. So if he took her to
It's a lot though. Meal, drinks, parking,
but he does every day
gas.
does not have to be at a restaurant.
I'm just saying, like, it's a lot for a guy. It's a lot.
Well,
But what's interesting about the list?
I mean, for you to be saying though, babe, we went out to a restaurant at least twice a week.
Well, I mean, we made it.
We did make it.
And mortgage the future. But what's interesting about the list, and we already said it, was just how times change. Because again, Red Lobster.
I mean, that was the spot back in my day.
Those were like places where you like, oh, you taking me to
Red Lobster?
And I told you this before, but unless you're in Atlanta or you know of Atlanta around this time, like you've never heard of this place. But there was a place called the Spaghetti Factory.
Oh yeah.
And if you went to the Spaghetti Factory, you was balling.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you taking me to the Spaghetti Factory? Yeah, it was in Buckhead.
Oh.
See, Buckhead went through these different iterations where at one point it was like the night spot, and then they moved out a lot of the night spots and clubs, and now they tried to make it more like a Rodeo Drive where it's shopping and it's like upscale like it is now.
Okay.
But before that, it was a night spot.
Okay.
And the Spaghetti Factory was one of those restaurants
Wow.
in Buckhead where it's like it was right next to ESPN Live.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day. Y'all old school ATL folks know what I'm talking about, man. The Spaghetti Factory. Take you to the Spaghetti Factory, girl. Yeah. All right, you guys.
Let us know what you think.
Clearly we're out of the game.
Out of it.
Happily married.
Yes. Praise the Lord.
Just give people the benefit of the doubt.
And let us know what's an appropriate first date. I want some comments.
Yeah, don't settle, but give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, everything doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about this status thing. Connect as people. You know what I mean? In the right circumstances, going to a church revival is a good first date.
Going to a church revival is a good first date.